Hello and welcome to PSM Speak. Today I am going to focus on three important, interesting pieces of news that concern the people who are living in the United States, who lost their jobs and who are aspiring to go to the United States in search of job. If you like the video, please do subscribe to this channel. That is free, but it is going to encourage me a lot to get you more videos of this kind. Now getting to the topic of today, the first piece of news, that is United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, its tweets and its note, the reassurance it has given to those people who are working in the United States and who lost their jobs. As you know, there have been large-scale retrenchments, layoffs in the country. The organizations like Google, Microsoft and Amazon have laid off many people. And after that, the people who lost the jobs naturally went into a kind of panic mode. They are supposed to leave the country within 60 days. And they had no alternative. That's what many of them were thinking. But the USCIS said, no, there are methods and there is scope to continue. There are options. At least it said there are 4 options. One option is filing an application for change of non-immigrant status. That means within the non-immigrant status, they can switch on to some other status for which they are eligible, if they are eligible. The second option that is available before them is filing an application for adjustment of status from non-immigrant to immigrant status if they are entitled for that. And then the third option available before them, those who got retrenched, those who lost their jobs, was that filing an application showing the compelling circumstances and showing the employment authorization document. They have to show the compelling circumstances under which they are seeking extension of their stay beyond 60 days grace period. That is what worrying them. Then the fourth option open to them is those beneficiaries of non-frivolous employment. That means filing a petition for changing employment from one organization to another organization, of course non-frivolous employer, and change the employer. They can seek this, but they are supposed to do this within that 60 days grace period. If they do not take any action during that 60 days period, they have to exit the country. Those people who are working there and their dependents. Coming to the second piece of news, again USCIS clarification. Many people ask if they can look for a job when they are in a B1 and B2 status. There were doubts, but USCIS has clarified, yes, this is not an unauthorized activity. This activity is a permissible activity under B1 and B2 status. They can search for an employment, they can attend interviews, but after getting employment, they should seek a suitable visa to a job in the United States. That is natural. So this is another reassurance to those people who are in doubt that they cannot search a job in the United States. When they are still in the United States, but on a B1 and B2 visa. And the third piece of the news, a presidential advisory subcommittee on immigration has recommended to the Department of Homeland Security and the US Citizenship and Immigration Service, DHS and USCIS, to extend this grace period of 60 days of H1B workers who lost their jobs from the present 60 days to 180 days. Of course, there have been appeals. At least two Indian American organizations have launched an online petitioning campaign seeking upon the President Joe Biden to extend this 60 days grace period to 1 year for H1B visa holders who lost their jobs. Now we are talking about the visas. What are these visas? Why Indians are so much worried, and why these assurances or reassurances gave so much satisfaction to the Indians living in the United States? A large number of Indians are living in the United States. As estimated, latest one, the current 2023, some 4.7 million Indians are living in the United States. That accounts for 1.35% to 1.4% of the total of United States population. Our Ministry of External Affairs in 2018 made an estimation of Indian diaspora, people of India living abroad. How many are they? 32.1 million. Of them, 4.4 million are living in the United States alone. That means of the total Indian diaspora, 13.89% are living in the United States. So these announcements are important to India. Then what is this visa? Latin origin, if we go to the etymology, carta visa, which means the paper that has been seen, an endorsement, an authorization. We are talking of the United States visa. What is the United States visa? It is authorization of foreigners to visit to the United States. They can go to the port of entry, airports or border, and have to present this authorization endorsed in their travel document, their passport. Then seek admission. Visa is permission to enter, stay for the specified period in the country and live. So get into the country, produce this visa to the Department of Homeland Security, Customs and Border Protection, and take the approval and get into the United States. Then what are the types of visas? There are many types of visas, but I want to list a few of those which are of immediate interest, which are of concern to those Indians who are studying there, who want to go there for their studies, those who are working there, who want to work there, their dependents, families, and visitors who are going on a business trip. So I have listed those important visas. We have two types of visas, non-immigrant and immigrant. As I said, I am not listing all the types of visas, only some of them which appear to be important right now to us. This is a kind of introduction to you, whereby you can get into the details. One visa under non-immigrant is B1 visa. B1 visa is business visa. This business visa is to consult the business associates in the United States, attend the business and other conventions and conferences, negotiate a contract for business, settle in a state. These are the purposes for which one goes to the United States on B1 visa. Then B2 visa. B2 visa is a tourist visa. It is for the purpose of tourism, vacation, visit to friends, families, medical requirements, social events, amateur music, participation of events like events that are associated with the music, sports, etc. and etc. And attending these conventions, we should note, is without any remuneration, not being paid any remuneration or fees, not accepting that. So that is B2 visa. B2 visa is given, or B1 or combination of visa, B1, B2 is also given. Then the other types of non-immigrant visas. Non-immigrant means you are not going there to settle down in America and reside there permanently. J, this is exchange visitors. One of the permitted activity is young adults going and living with the families of the citizens in the United States for child care kind of thing, and in return getting support to education. There are certain norms and conditions for giving this visa, as are there with any other kind of visa. And then we have O. This O visa is for individuals with extraordinary ability in science, art, business, etc. Which means for every purpose, for every need to go to the United States, there is one or the other type of visa for entering the country and staying there for the specified time. Then we have L visa. L visa, intra-company transfers. If someone is working in a multinational in India, they have an office in America, and they are the employers, and they send their employees, and again subject to conditions like minimum length of service one has put in India before being sent to the United States. So this L visa simply is intra-company transfer. Then we have P visa. This P visa, that is for performing athletes, artists and entertainers. Then we have H1B visa for the persons in specialty occupations with higher degrees, educational qualifications, etc. Then we have F visa. F visa is student visa for attending universities, colleges, high schools, elementary schools, and so on. M visa is also a student visa, but it is for non-academic institutions for pursuing vocational or other courses, essentially non-academic. Then we have dependent visas. This is for the spouse and children of individuals working on H1 visa, H1B. So for their dependents we have H4. Similarly, we have F2 visa for the purpose of facilitating the visits of spouse and children of F1, that is students, student dependents. And so is J2 visa. J2 visa. J2 visa is spouse and children of J exchange program. So broadly these are the visa types, non-immigrant. Now we have immigrant visas. Immigrant visas is for permanent resident in the United States. One is family based, fiance and fiancé based, then employment based. Then we also have a returning residence visa. This returning residence visa is called SB visa. This is nothing but a visa of a green card holder, a legal permanent resident who came back to his own country, in case of India, coming to India, staying here beyond the permitted time of 1 year, then if they want to return beyond the authorized time, they need to take a visa, and that visa is called returning residence visa. Broadly, these are immigrant visas. There are many more, all right, but for the timing it is enough. Like we see in B1, B2, JOL, immigrant also, although I have not listed here, there are classifications like IR1, CR1, K3, K1, IR3, IH3, IR3, IH4, IR2, CR2, E1, E2, E3, EW3, etc. So these are about the different types of visas. If you still have some questions to ask, please feel free to note in the comments box. Also, those of you who know about the visas and who want to enlighten the others may answer those questions, whereby this will be beneficial to many people who are interested in getting a visa. I request you once again to subscribe to this channel, and thank you very much for so patiently watching this video. Thank you.